I do think that appearance matters, but not so much in the ways that we traditionally talk about that. I have been thinking a lot recently about how our connection to our physical body and to the way that we appear in the world has been really twisted and manipulated. When I think about the dimensions of being a human, mind, body, spirit, all of those things are supposed to be connected. I obviously don't know the secrets of the universe or why we're here or why we have chosen to take these physical forms, but I do think that there is a reason for that. Our spirit and our mind should be connected to our physical body. When we look back through history up until the present day, people in positions of power have known about that connection and how to weaponize it to gain more power and to gain more money. I'm not saying that this was like a centuries-long conspiracy theory. Please don't take it that way. I just think that maybe in the present day, we are so far removed from that connection that we have forgotten, and that throughout history, people have known. Even I compare this to like how in modern day marketing, marketers understand how different colors and words affect the human psyche. In a similar way, people in power have used people's appearance to influence the way that they think and the way that they feel about themselves. I'm gonna give a couple of examples and then explain why the heck I'm even talking about this. At the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, prior to that time, men were wearing wigs, they were wearing fancy clothes, almost on par to their women counterparts. But with industrialization, they needed men who were going to be working in the factories, who were going to be in charge of the factories, to have, as they say, a Protestant ethic with stress on the qualities or virtues of hard work, sobriety, frugality, and personal economic advancement. So this was when men's fashion really turned into what it is today, with more serious, darker colors, really simple, strong silhouettes like the button-down shirt and the black dress pant that we see. It goes on to say, such was the overweening centrality accorded to work, career, and occupational success for the male identity, that clothing was unavailable as a visual means for men to express other sides of their personalities. Clothing, if not necessary fashion as well, is clearly tied here to constructing and signaling gender identity. While some fashion trends do occur naturally, most of them are not occurring naturally. This is apparent because fashion brands can go to websites like the WGSN and purchase trend reports for years to come for them to know what they should be putting out, because that's what's going to be on trend in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. From my time in fashion school and just being a woman under our consumerist society, I really do think that trends are pushed and used as a way to keep people plugged into buying, keep them plugged into consumerism, because if we were happy with ourselves and if we didn't derive our worth from the things that we have and being on trend and being in, then we wouldn't buy as much. We wouldn't feel the need to buy as much. We wouldn't find as much of our identity from these things that are external from ourselves. What these examples have in common, it shows that how we appear in our physical body and what's happening here really can affect the way that we feel as people, our identities, the groups that we belong to, and the beliefs that we hold about the world and ourselves. Because so many of us have been convinced that somebody knows better than us, it's really hard to remember what is important about being in this physical body and how our spirit wants to express itself through this form. I can't remember where I heard this for the first time, but it just really changed my perspective that our spirits chose to inhabit these particular bodies at this time for some reason. And no, we don't remember the reasons, but they chose to be here in these bodies. It's interesting that human beings have had the desire to decorate their bodies through tattoos and jewelry and clothing pretty much since the beginning of history. And I do think that those two things are connected. Denying the importance of this physical dimension because it has been controlled or in modern times reduced to something superficial, it's like cutting off a part of your humanness. Expressing your mind and your spirit through this physical form is part of what helps you find your purpose and find your place in the physical world. It's a part of learning the lessons that you're put on this earth to learn. It's a part of going on a certain path that you are meant to go on. It will connect you to certain people. It will bring you to certain opportunities that you are meant to find on this path. It really is this remembrance of who you are and that you're here on purpose and that you're worthy of being here because you are. It's not about being attractive. It's not about falling in line. It's about becoming and remembering who you are in this human form. And obviously we live in a society, certain like social things that we have to follow in order for society to work and for us to all exist together. But I also think, especially at this time in history, we do have more control about how we connect, and a lot of us are trying to find a different way of living than what has been throughout history. Your appearance can be a part of that. I know in my own life, before I really took control and thought about my choices with the way that I was appearing, I was hopelessly addicted to trends. I was constantly looking for external validation to tell me who I was and to tell me that I was worthy to be here, and constantly looking outside of myself and being so disconnected from my own spirit. It was a very empty feeling. I just didn't really feel like I was on the right path for my life, or that I was living in this really full way that I came here to live. I had really low self-esteem and self-worth, and while some of that goes away with age, I do think that taking control of my appearance, reconnecting to who I really was and expressing that through my clothes, how I'm doing my makeup and my hair and all of those things, it really helped to reiterate that I am worthy, that I am good enough to be here. And even in my time working with personal styling clients, I just came back to the conclusion over and over that if it's just about the clothes, if it's just about the appearance without the connection to what's happening inside, that it's just missing something. It's just hollow, it's superficial, it's controlled by trends and all of these outside things, when really it could be connected to something so much deeper. It could be such a deeper expression of something that can only be made visible through our physical bodies and our choice to express in a certain way. I know that was kind of a ramble, but I guess I'm still figuring it out too. And I just hope that what I talked about maybe brought something up for you, made a connection for you that you hadn't made before, a thought that you hadn't had before. And if that's the case, I would really love to read about them in the comments. Otherwise, I really appreciate you listening to me yap and watching this video. I hope that I'll see you in the next one.